By the late 19th century, the world was shrinking. Telegraph lines and steam engines connected continents at blinding speed. Yet culturally and spiritually, humanity remained fiercely divided, locked inside isolated religious dogmas. In British India, this global industrial boom meant little. Millions endured the physical realities of famine and starvation, a stark contrast to the region's rich, ancient spiritual heritage. Meanwhile, in the United States, Western industrial triumph was on full display at the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago, an event designed to showcase the pinnacle of human achievement. As part of the exposition, the Art Institute hosted the Parliament of the World's Religions. Into this gathering of global clerics walked an unknown 30-year-old wandering monk from India named Swami Vevekananda. When his turn came to speak, he bypassed the standard formal greetings. He bowed to Saraswati, the Hindu goddess of learning, and began his address simply, "Sisters and Brothers of America." At those words, the crowd of 7,000 rose to their feet, giving him a 2-minute standing ovation. Once the hall quieted down, he introduced the concept of bhakti, or devotion. He quoted ancient texts, offering the metaphor of different streams, having their sources in different places, all mingling their water in the sea. The paths people take might appear crooked or straight, he argued, but they all lead to the same divine source. In an era of rigid sectarian competition, this was a direct challenge to the Western monopoly on spiritual authority. By placing all faiths on equal footing, he disrupted the prevailing narrative that a single religion was the only valid path to truth. To understand how he commanded that stage, we have to look back at his beginnings in Calcutta. Born Narendranath Dutta, he was a highly educated, skeptical intellectual, far more inclined toward rational philosophy than religious devotion. That skepticism dissolved at age 18 when he met the mystic Ramakrishna. The encounter completely rewired his worldview, transforming the analytical student into a devoted disciple of the spiritual teacher. Following Ramakrishna's death, Vivekananda took the vows of a sannyasin, a renunciate. For years, he traveled extensively across the Indian subcontinent on foot, living as a wandering monk without possessions. Walking among the masses, he gained first-hand knowledge of the harsh living conditions endured under British rule. He realized that preaching philosophy to starving people was useless. He needed a way to alleviate their suffering through social services. But to do that, he required significant capital. That search for capital brought him to America. Following his success at the Parliament, American newspapers declared him an orator by divine right. He spent the next few years lecturing widely across the United States and Europe. But he faced a practical problem. He was carrying thousands of years of dense Hindu mysticism to a Western audience, steeped in rapid industrial pragmatism. He needed to translate ancient abstract concepts into a framework they could actually use. In 1896, he published his solution, Raja Yoga. He adapted ancient texts into a clear, systematic methodology. Stripping away esoteric mystery, he presented yoga as a rigorous, step-by-step mental discipline to help individuals realize the divine force within themselves. To ensure these teachings survived his departure, he built permanent infrastructural hubs, establishing Vedanta societies in massive urban centers like New York and San Francisco. He repositioned Advaita Vedanta, the philosophy of non-dualism, as a functional system for urban life. His lectures focused on using these ancient insights as a mental anchor to help workers navigate the stresses of the industrial city. By codifying this accessible framework and building the institutions to teach it, Vivekananda laid the structural groundwork for the entire modern Western yoga movement. In 1897, Vivekananda finally set sail for India. He returned carrying immense Western ideological momentum and, crucially, the financial support he had originally set out to find. With these resources, he activated his ultimate philosophical synthesis, Shiva Gnane Jiver Seva. This is the spiritual practice of serving human beings as actual manifestations of the divine. He aggressively pivoted his fellow monks away from isolated meditation. He issued a strict mandate telling them that religion must directly benefit the poor, writing that no good would come from sitting idle while others starved. To execute this vision, he founded the Ramakrishna Mission on May 1, 1897. Shortly after, the Beller Moth Temple Complex was established as their headquarters, permanently institutionalizing famine relief, education, and social service. This firmly cemented karma yoga, the yoga of action, as the core of modern Indian humanitarianism. Exhausted by his travel and service, Vivekananda died in 1902 at age 39. Within just 9 years of public life, he had established 2 major institutions, founded multiple international journals, and seeded the infrastructure for global Vedanta study. He built a permanent bridge between the East and the West by demonstrating a profound truth. The highest form of spiritual enlightenment requires both a genuine tolerance for all beliefs and the selfless physical service of humanity.